Hello everyone, my dear students. I am MD Hazare. Today I am going to deal with the third semester optional English, and in this introduction I am going to deal with the introduction to romanticism and romantic literature. Dear students, it's my great pleasure to introduce the romanticism. Here, before start the romanticism or romantic literature, we have to see the background to romanticism. What is romanticism? See here, romanticism was an artistic, literary, musical and intellectual movement that originated in Europe towards the end of 18th century, and in most areas was at its peak in the approximate period from 1800 to 1850. Meaning is that this new literary movement began with the beginning of 18th century and it was ended half of the 19th century or almost all end of the 19th century. The elements of romanticism are belief in the individual and common man. Second one, love for nature. Or third one, interest in the bizarre, supernatural and gothic. Next one, interest in the past. And last, that is, looks at the world with more than reasonable optimism. And sixth one, faith in inner experience and the power of the imagination. See, these elements which shows that the particular literature which tells us the imaginations, emotion, feelings, and that is the very first element of this romanticism is belief in the individual and common man. The writers of this age, authors of the age, artists of the age who began to believe in individualism, individual thoughts, and also in common man. Next, another thing, that is love for nature. In this period, we can see authors of this period who began to write on nature. Then next, interest in the bizarre, supernatural annotations. These people, romantic writers, who believed in supernatural things. Next, these people showed interest in the past. Meaning is that they gone through the medieval age. These people who has seen in the rose colored glasses, means only imaginative things they wanted to see. Then also another important element of this romanticism is that is faith in inner experience, means it is not intellectual thoughts, but what the author or the poet or the writer who experience in his mind, and the power of imagination, and very most importance is given to imagination. These are the elements of romanticism. Romanticism was characterized by its emphasis on emotion and individualism, as well as a glorification of all the past and nature. See, in this romanticism we can see there is a glorification of past and the nature. The importance is given to the nature and the past things. It was partly a reaction to the Industrial Revolution. Here we can say it is a reaction to Industrial Revolution. After French Revolution, we can say in the world there was a Industrial Revolution, and because of the Industrial Revolution, man became alone. Everybody was thinking about money, his earnings, and this kind of thing was not liked by the romantic writers, and so they opposed Industrial Revolution. The aristocratic socialism and political norms of the age of enlightenment and scientific rationalism of nature, and these people who thinking of the rationalism of nature. And so that is these are the all components of modernity. And see, this Industrial Revolution, the aristocratic social or political norms of the age and enlightenment, and the scientific rationalization of nature, all these are the components of modernism, that is modern thoughts. And these thoughts were totally opposed by the romantic writers. It was embodied most strongly in the visual arts, that is like music and literature, but had a major impact on historiography, education, chess, social sciences, and the natural sciences. It had a significant and complex effect on politics. Here also we can see there is a very important effect on politics, with romantic thinkers influencing liberalism. And see, these romantic thinkers who were implementing liberalism, then radicalism, conservatism, and nationalism. See, these thoughts we can see here. This is the romantic or romanticism. In literature, Romanticism found recurrent themes in the evocation, criticism of the past, the cult of the sensibility. And see, totally here we can say the cult of sensibility, with the emphasis on women and children. See, there is a very great emphasis was given on women and children. the isolation of the artist or narrator and his respect for nature. Here we can see the respect for nature. Furthermore, several romantic authors such as Edgar Allan Poe and Nathaniel Hawthorne based their writings on the supernatural and human psychology. See, beginners of this romantic literature or romanticism, we can see that is Edgar Allan Poe and Nathaniel Hawthorne, who were started their writing on the supernatural and human psychology. Romanticism tended to regard satire as something unworthy of several attention, a prejudice still influential today. And this kind of romantic attention or unworthy of serious attention, we can see influential on today. The romantic movement in literature was preceded by the Enlightenment and succeeded by realism. And after that, romanticism, we can see there is a beginning of realism. In English literature, when we think about English literature, the key figures of romantic movement are considered to be the group of poets including William Wordsworth. See, these are the romantic poets. That is William Wordsworth, S.T. Coleridge, John Keats, Lord Byron, P.B. Shelley, that is Percy Bysshe Shelley, and the much older William Blake, that is the founder of, we can say, the beginner of romantic literature or romanticism in English, that is William Blake. And then after him came John Clare, also such. Then also we can see some novelists are, that is Walter Scott from Scotland and Mary Shelley, and the essayists like William Hazlitt and Charles Lamb. The publication of lyrical ballads in 1798 with many of the finest poems by Wordsworth and Coleridge is often held to mark the start of the movement. Here we can see that the publication of lyrical ballads in 1798 William Wordsworth collaboratively published this work. That is William Wordsworth and S.T. Coleridge collaboratively published this lyrical ballads in 1798, which was the finest poem by Wordsworth, and Coleridge is often held to mark the start of the movement, and it is, we can say, the real beginning of this romantic movement. The majority of the poems were by Wordsworth, and many dealt with the lives of the poor. Wordsworth's poems, that is many of Wordsworth's poems in this lyrical ballads, which we can say dealt with the lives of the poor in the native Lake District, or his feelings about nature, which are more fully developed in his long poem, The Prelude, which was never published in his lifetime. When he was alive, this Prelude was not published. The longest poem in the volume was Coleridge's The Rime of the Ancient Mariner. In lyrical ballads, the very longest poem by S.T. Coleridge, that is The Rime of Ancient Mariner, which showed the Gothic side of English romanticism and the exotic settings that many works featured, and it was so much impacted on coming literatures in the period when they were writing. The lake poets were widely regarded as a marginal group of radicals, though they were supported by the critic and writer William Hazlitt and others. In contrast, Lord Byron and Walter Scott achieved enormous fame and influence throughout Europe with works exploiting the violence and drama of their exotic and historical settings. Goethe called Byron undoubtedly the great genius of our century. Goethe called Byron as undoubtedly the greatest genius of our century. Means Byron was the greatest genius in 18th century. Scott achieved immediate success with his long narrative poem. Then Walter Scott has written a very great poem, The Lay of the Last Minstrel, in 1808, followed by the full epic poem Marmion in 1808. Both were set in the distant Scottish past, and in these two poems we can see the Scottish past, that is past of the Scotland, already evoked in Ocean. Romanticism and Scotland were to have a long and fruitful partnership. Byron had equal success with the first past of Childe Harold's Pilgrimage in 1812, followed by 4 Turkish tales. That is, in Childe Harold's Pilgrimage, we can see 4 Turkish tales, all in the form of long poems, and these 4 are the long poems, starting with the Guyaners in 1813, drawing from his grand tour which had reached Ottoman Europe and orientalizing the themes of Gothic novel in verse. These featured different variations of the Byronic hero. Here we can say differentiation of Byronic heroes, and his own life contributed a further version. Walter Scott, meanwhile, was effectively inventing the historical novel beginning in 1814 with Waverley, set in the 1745 Jacobite Rising, which was an enormous and highly profitable success. And here, Walter Scott, who is called a beginner of romantic novel, who got high profitable success, followed by over 20 further Waverley novels over the next 17 years, with settings going back to the Crusades that he had reached to a degree that was new in literature. In this way, we can say this is the beginning of new literature, that is Romanticism, that is romantic literature. Okay guys, thank you one and all.